The Atlanta Hawks were no sweat for the Boston Celtics. And up next, you got the Golden State Warriors coming into town. Steve Kerr, your team going down right here on Celtics World. What's going on, Celtics World? It's your boy, the Wayne Breezy, and thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. Listen, I appreciate you guys for being here. We are here talking Celtics, Boston Celtics. We're talking 18-time world champion Boston Celtics. So let's go ahead and get it in. Let's get it in. Let's get it in. What's going on, man? Listen, the Celtics did what they needed to do. They were on the road, nice little road trip. They haven't lost a game since losing to Indiana. Since then, they have been on point. And when I say on point, I mean on point. Now, they've been doing it without one of their star players and Jaylen Brown, who's missed the past 2 games due to a hip injury. He is underwaiting, I believe, a second MRI. We'll talk a little bit about that later when we get to the injury report. But make sure you guys do me a favor right now. You guys can go ahead, hit that like button, right? And make sure you subscribe to the channel. That's Celtics World Podcast. We are out here, man. I'm out here. We out here. We're on Instagram. You can follow us there as well. But right here on the YouTube channel, do me a favor, man. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to us. And since we're a new channel, please tell everybody that Wayne Breezy and my boy CP, we got a new Celtics thing going on. Don't worry. CP will be here for all the live shows, I promise. And there will be some live shows. All right. So just stick around, man. I promise we going to get to it. We going to get to it. We going to get to it. Again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Look, let's talk about this win, man. 123-93. We're talking pure domination in Atlanta. Pure domination in Atlanta. I honestly wasn't expecting pure domination in Atlanta, but I liked what I saw from the Boston Celtics on Bleacher Report. You guys can follow me over there, Wayne Breezy, on the Bleacher Report. I go live after the games. I do the post-reaction show, and I'm going to tell you straight up, I thought the Celtics did and looked very, very, very good offensively. You saw them move the ball. They shot the 3 particularly okay, in my opinion. I liked how they started bringing the 3 back in when the Atlanta Hawks started adjusting their defense and taking away the 3-point shot. And they started driving to the basket. But offensively, they were moving the ball. Everybody was scoring. But I'm looking at the scoring breakdown, and I'm saying to myself, man, the Boston Celtics was doing the damn thing. You know what I mean? They literally were doing the damn thing. They were sharing the ball, sharing the rock, and that's what you want. You know, you want that. You want sharing the ball, sharing the rock, moving the ball. That is Celtics basketball. Like 101 Celtics basketball. When they're moving the rock, that's what you get. You can see Jason Tatum finish the game, 28 points, man. A game high, leading scorer the whole game. Shout out to Jason Tatum, because you know what Jason Tatum is right now?
He's on fire!
1,000% on fire. 1,000%. And if you're looking at this and you be like, damn, Tatum only played 30 minutes, listen. He sat the whole fourth quarter. Jason Tatum sat the whole fourth quarter. So this 123-93 victory offensively, Celtics definitely put up the points. But I think what really stood out to me was the defense of the Boston Celtics in this game. And it wasn't just the defense from, the star players. We got to go into the bench and we got to see what the bench did. But defensively, they were holding it down. And we'll take a look at what the Celtics are looking like, stat-wise after being 7-1. But Jason Tatum is just the man, yo. Matter of fact, they had their headbands on. You had Jason Tatum, Derek White. I think Kata had his headband on. Like, it was the headband game. Drew probably had a headband. It was the no sweat game for the Boston Celtics. I want to know if they're going to show up at home like that against the Golden State Warriors on Wednesday night, but we'll see what happens. But again, listen, Tatum, he was 10 for 21 from the floor, 47.6% field goal percentage. He was 6 for 14 from the 3. It was at one point in the game he wasn't missing from the 3. He's like 6 for 8 at one point. And then, he kept trying to force some threes up and whatever. He didn't have to get to the free throw line much. You can see he only had 3 attempts. He missed one of his shots. My most impressive stat was the 9 assists. Tatum is dishing out the ball. Like, to be MVP, like, it's not about just leading the league in scoring, which Tatum by the way, is leading the league in scoring. I just want to put that out there. Jason Tatum is the number one scoring player in the league. Round of applause to JT. He's doing his thing. Averaging over 30 points a game. He only had a couple of games where he was kind of like under 30 points. One, he had 15. I think he got like 220s, but everything was the high 30s. And I wouldn't be surprised in this upcoming game he going for a 50 burger. I'm just going to put it right there. Al Horford had a good game too. You can see he was 3 from 4 from the floor, shot 75%, missed one of his threes, shot 50% from the three, hit his 2 free throws. He finished. He only played 22 minutes. They were rotating the bigs. The bigs were being rotated heavily, and I actually like that. I mean, 4 bigs. I mean, you could put Xavier Tillman in there as well. And so I like what the Celtics, I like what Joe Mazzulla is doing with the bigs. He's looking for the matchup, and he's not getting outmatched. He is not getting outmatched. Great adjustments by Joe Mazzulla, because my biggest pet peeve in the Indiana loss was that he didn't make any type of switches and rotations early in the game. By the time he put Kata in the game, it was too late. And I thought Luke was getting a little bit abused in that game. He had the offensive rebounds, but he wasn't getting any defensive rebounds. And I think that was hurting the Celtics. So he's starting to make some of these changes. Al Horford, again, had a pretty damn good game. 9 points. He finished the game. Speaking of Kata, let's talk about him. He played 23 minutes and 11 seconds. He also started. And so without Jaylen Brown in the lineup, you were able to move Al Horford to the 4, and you're starting Kata at the 5, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Kata might just be the unsung hero of the Boston Celtics as of right now, and I think if he can continue to stay healthy, he's gonna be a menace to society. I can tell you that right now. So Kata out there, 23 minutes, 11 seconds, 4 for 7, 57.1 field goal percentage. Man, one of the highest field goal percentages. He was top 2, right? Top, definitely, because Peyton Pritchard, I believe, was 1, and you had Nime Kata at number 2, 4 for 7. He's not a shooter, so he's not going to stretch the floor. But around the rim, that's where you need him. Around the rim, he finished the game with 7 rebounds, led the team in rebounding. Also had a steal and a block shot. I mean, that's what you need from him, and he gave you 10 points. So the double-double was almost there, right? He was 3 rebounds off from a double-double, almost there for Kata. But congratulations, we got to give him a round of applause for his first Portuguese player to start in the NBA ever, too, for my man Kata. Like, that's amazing. That's amazing. Now, Drew Holiday and Derek White are like, what's a good you let me know in the comment section, what's a great tag team for this duo? Matter of fact, I got a better question for you. If they can be a tag team wrestling group, what would you name Drew Holiday and Derek White? If Derek White and Drew Holiday, we can give them a tag team, has to be a tag team wrestling name, what would it be? I'm old school, so I'm gonna probably bow out of this conversation. But if I think about my old school guys, I feel like these two players are gritty, and I'm trying to think of a good gritty tag team name, like Legion of Doom. They were gritty. Demolition Men were gritty, but I felt like it was more than 2. I like the Rockers too, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. I know who they are. They're the Hart Foundation. Drew Holiday and Derek White are the Hart Foundation of the Boston Celtics. Why? Man, listen, they do all the dirty work, and they find ways to still stand out. Drew Holiday started this game off really hot. You can see he had the highest field goal percentage, actually, 63.6%. So like I said, top 3, it was him, Pritchard, then Kata. Like, them your top 3. They were making their shots. So that means the efficiency was there. They were taking the right shots. They were looking pretty efficient out there on the basketball court. And I freaking love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm starting to see the confidence build game after game for my man Drew. Drew, you are a blessing to the Boston community. You're a blessing to this team, and you're the reason why we have that 18th banner and why we're going for 19. So I thought Drew Holiday balled out, shot 33% from the 3-point line, finished with 16 points. But yeah, that's what they do. That's what the Celtics do. And then you get Derek White, who the confidence is rising too, right? And so you got your top 2 defensive players. That's crazy that I'm saying that Drew and Derek are the Celtics' top 2 defensive players. But then again, it's not crazy because they're all NBA defensive players, right? Like they're in the all defensive players of the NBA from last year. So you expecting them to bring the defense. What they're doing now is they're getting comfortable in this offense. Derek White is getting comfortable shooting his shot. Drew Holiday is getting comfortable at shooting his shot as he's no longer being passive out there. Now, what the Celtics did really well against the Atlanta Hawks was they moved the hell out of the basketball. That ball was moving and grooving. I'm like, yeah, right shot, right shot, right shot. And some of the shots they missed, but they were great looks. That's Celtics basketball. That's efficient basketball. That right there lets me know that the Boston Celtics are locked in and they're ready. They're ready to go. Here's what we get from the bench, though. The bench is what really what impressed me because Peyton Pritchard came in, finished with 18 points. I thought he was going to finish with 20. Unfortunately, had a couple of shots that didn't fall his way toward the end of the game. But you got 18 from Pritchard. You got 2 from Tillman. You got 10 from my man Sam Hauser. I would like to see him score more. You got crazy, massive energy from Jordan Walsh. He gave you 2 points. Luke gave you 2 after coming off of a 19-point game. Again, this was a matchup purpose. I think that's why he was rotated. He was actually that third big at the center spot. That was rotated. And then you got some of the young guys like Jaden Springer. He finished with 2. Baylor Shireman didn't finish with anything. And J.D. Davison gave you 3 points. So the Boston Celtics got their bench involved. And I think their bench is what really played well. When their bench is together, they're a problem. Like they're going to be tough to beat. I know they're 7-1 and they got the loss in they lost in overtime to the Indiana Pacers, but it is what it is. Like it is what it is. Like you're not going to win every freaking game. Now, you got your Cleveland Cavaliers out there that are just dumb hot, and I get it. I get it. Let's talk defensively about this game. We can look at some of the stats. The only stat that really stood out to me, and there are a bunch, right? Like not giving up any transition points damn near to the fourth quarter. Not allowing any points off of turnovers damn near to like the fourth quarter. Like I thought the Celtics were balling defensively. They held Trae Young to 2 points. I don't get it. And Trae Young usually gives the Celtics problems, but I'm starting to understand what's going on. And I think when you don't have that cool 1-2 punch scoring combo, you know what I'm saying? Because when they had DeJounte Murray, it was a little different. You know what I'm saying? Because he could drop a few, but they didn't have him. So at this point, it's Jalen Johnson coming off the bench from the power forward position. He gave him 20. Zachary gave him 15. They had a couple of guys off the bench score. And that's going to be one of my concerns going into the next game. Celtics got to figure out how to limit the bench points. But if the bench is coming in and they're doing their job defensively against the starters, well, that's cool because now you're putting the pressure on them and their bench to score. Defensively, they gave up 93 points in this game, and it could have been a lot less. They were giving up a lot of easy buckets, like a lot of easy drives to the basket. And I think that's where the Celtics got to improve defensively. They got to stop letting the team like get right to the basket. Like, they don't got to get right to the basket. Stop letting them get right to the basket. You know what I mean? So Celtics got to tighten up some of their interior defense, in my opinion. I like the energy that I saw them out there on the perimeter. I thought they looked fast. They looked slick. They looked quick. They look really good. And again, they only gave up 93 points. And I know 93 points is a lot. But, a 30-point game, that's crazy. And you took your starters out in the whole fourth quarter. So just imagine if the starters continue to play, this game might have got a little bit more out of hand. But the Atlanta Hawks took that L. Celtics defeated the Hawks 123-93. Last time I checked, that was 30 points. That's an explosive win right there. Woo! You win by 30. It's a wrap. We used to call winning by 20 nuggets. You win by 30. That's a bomb. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, listen, here's the injury report as far as what's going on with the Boston Celtics. Obviously, we know that Kristaps Porzingis is out with a foot injury, and Jaylen Brown has been ruled as questionable. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to be ruled out. I talked about him getting that second MRI so that they can get more another opinion on what's going on with his hip injury. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Jaylen Brown just doesn't play in this upcoming game against the the Golden State Warriors, and we'll get to that in a second. Here's some updates with the Celtics. Baylor Shireman, their rookie, their draft pick, has been assigned to the Maine Celtics, and it's rightfully so. I seen it last night. I was watching the game, and I was like, yeah, man, like, he just putting it up. Like, he not even really, like, he didn't have good handle on the ball, and a lot of it's probably like jitters, young player, but he needs to get himself into a different type of basketball shape, definitely Boston Celtics shape, and he'll be called back up, I'm sure of it. But right now, there's like not much room for him to really grow on the Celtics roster, because Sam Hauser, depending on how his injury with his back, if it continues to flare up, they can bring the kid up, especially if he's doing really well. I think he'll get more. He's going to get the opportunities in Maine. I think it's a great move for him, so he could go down there, find his shot, find his rhythm, because he was mishandling the ball. Like, I think it was his turnover that led to their first fast break points of the game, if I'm not mistaken. So it's just crazy. I know Peyton Pritchard had one as well, but yeah, man, I like the kid. The kid's a left-handed shooter, and he could be a dynamic shooter, but he's just got to get in there and find his shot. I remember Sam Hauser struggled early, and he just needed to find his shot. Sam Hauser's a catch-and-shoot guy. Maybe Baylor could turn into more of a catch-and-shoot guy, run off the screens, catch, shoot, do your thing, just to get himself into a rhythm. So he has been assigned to the Maine Celtics. Guys, let me know what you think in their victory over the Atlanta Hawks. They got a couple of games where they're heading back home, a couple of tough games coming up, and let's start with the revenge game. Steve Kerr revenge. Do I have the sound for that? Listen, Jason Tatum, I just feel like is going to go berserk. Okay, Jason Tatum is going to go berserk. And if you guys have been sleeping under a rock somewhere, all right, he's been what Steve Kerr did to Tatum, with the USA basketball team situation, mismanaged him properly, didn't allow him to play, and then Tatum didn't have a good USA basketball series, and it was just bad. It was just bad. That's why I need Jaylen Brown to play too. But it was just bad, and so ever since then, Tatum's gotten the gym. He's worked on his three-point shot. That John cray-cray. Like, Tatum's three-point shot is ridiculous. I mean, he's shooting it differently. He has a quicker release. It's a lot more smooth. He's taking them deeper. It's a lot, right? For the defense to be able to defend the shot. He already has the height and the wingspan to jump over a lot of people. It's like he's turning into another Kevin Durant. He's not as tall as Kevin Durant, but he's turning into another Kevin Durant with that type of deadly shot. He's got that fadeaway, step back three that he's starting to perfect, and it's starting to go in. So we're watching Jason Tatum get to the basket a lot more. He's mentally saying, all right, man, my shot not falling. Let me get to the paint. He's getting the foul calls when he needs. Tatum is he's transcending into what the most valuable player does for their team in the NBA. That's what Jason Tatum is doing. And again, ever since this situation happened between Steve Kerr and Jason Tatum, Tatum has just been on a spree. I ain't gonna put the front word in front of it. He's just been out there knocking cats off, knocking cats out, and it's gonna be crazy when Steph Curry, who I respect as one of the greatest players to ever play this game. I respect him 1,000%. The Golden State Warriors are gonna look a little different. No Klay Thompson. I believe DeAnthony Melton is probably gonna be out of this game. I believe he's dealing with he's listed as questionable as of right now with a face injury or some type of injury, facet face. That's what it says. So we'll see what happens. But when I'm looking at the Golden State Warriors and I'm looking at they're 6-1 right now, right? And so this is going to be a thriller, like straight up. And they're starting five: Curry, Moody, Wiggins is there. Wiggins usually gives the Celtics problems. How they going to deal with Draymond Green, especially with Jaylen Brown not on the court. It's going to be interesting because I like Al Horford. If Brown is not playing in this game, give me Al Horford, Draymond Green. Give me old man strength against the uncle strength. Like you know what I'm saying? Draymond would be the uncle. Al Horford to be like the granddad. Cause don't sleep on the granddad. And I'm not trying to call him that old. But you know what I'm trying. It's like the dad strength versus the uncle strength. You know what I mean. And then Jackson Davis at their center, which I think Kata will get them to get another start. I believe you start Kata in this game again for the Boston Celtics. I wouldn't change anything up. Here's what makes the Golden State Warriors a little bit different. They have a player that definitely does damage to the Boston Celtics. His ability to shoot, his ability to get to the rim is a lot different, right? And so when I'm looking at Buddy Hield, I'm just like, dang, man, dang. Like, out of all the players they could have got, they went and got a player that I was hoping that the Boston Celtics could have got a little bit in on and got, even though I know that the Celtics were deep. I've wanted him for a few years now back. But that, to me, is going to be their X factor. It's not going to be Curry. It's not going to be Wiggins. It's not going to be Green. I don't even think Green can score more. But if you leave him wide open, obviously he's gonna get his shots off. But, it is what it is. So, they got a squad. They definitely got a squad. But here are 3 ways the Celtics can defeat the Warriors in their upcoming matchup, right? Number 1, in my opinion, they got to continue to play offensively. They got to continue to play their brass of basketball. Now, what I'm thinking, Steve Kerr is going to try to force a bunch of ISO situations to where Tatum is going to have to defend Wiggins, or Wiggins going to have to defend Tatum. You get what I'm trying to say? And Tatum's going to have the ball. I need the Celtics to continue to move the ball. Get out of as much ISO basketball as they can, because they're a good rebounding team, and this is going to lead to transition shots if the Boston Celtics aren't making those particular shots in ISO ball. Now, if it's one-on-one, you taking them to the rack, that's different. But I'm talking the one-on-one, late in the shot clock, dribble, step to the side, shoot, and it goes out. Now it's numbers, and boom, there's easy baskets. And you don't want to give the Golden State Warriors easy baskets. So moving the ball is always going to be key for the Boston Celtics. Now, they might come out in this game and look hot and start off hot shooting from the 3. That's cool. But we all know that the threes cool off. So get back to ball movement, great ball movement. The Celtics proved against the Atlanta Hawks that they can move the ball and other players can score. So offensively, my number 1 would definitely be ball movement. They got to continue to move that rock. The Celtics have 5 to 6 different players that can hit from the 3-point shot at any given 3-point line at any given moment in the game. Doesn't matter if it's a corner 3, straightaway 3, far away 3. It doesn't matter. Like, the range is there. The shot just needs to be right on the money. Number 2, make those adjustments. They have to be good at adjusting. They have to be good at adjusting to what, don't let this be a shootout. Don't get into a shootout with Curry. Don't get into a shootout with Hield. Don't get into a shootout, right? You don't want to get into a shootout. Now, the Celtics may come out and just be on fire. That's cool, but make them have to try to make you change your game. Like, make them have to work hard for their points. I want the Celtics to make sure that they just remain like just playing efficient basketball, right? Like, getting out there, playing smart IQ ball. It goes back to ball movement. But in order to do that, they're going to have to be able to make adjustments offensively if certain things aren't working. Number 3, they got to figure out a way to limit Buddy Hield off that bench. Look, if Steph Curry drops 60 and they ain't getting nothing from the bench, last time I checked, 60's not outscoring the Boston Celtics hundreds, which they're averaging. Matter of fact, the Boston Celtics are averaging at home. They're averaging 125.5 points per game. They're also 2-0 at home. They haven't lost at home, and they're averaging 125 points per game, 125.5 points per game. Boston Celtics at home are crazy. They're shooting 45.5%, right? I love it. They're shooting are they shooting 50% from the 3? Yes. They're doing really. This is what I like to see. I want the Boston Celtics to get out there and play their style of basketball. I think that's hell of important. And so they got to be able to go out there and limit what they get from the bench. And the issue for me, for this Boston Celtics team, has been the bench. It's been the players on the bench. They allow certain guys off the bench to just go off. I can go back to the Indiana game. It was Mathurin. I think he was the first player that I saw off the bench really give the Celtics some problems. And then in a game or two ago, it was a different player. So they got to figure out how to make sure they don't allow Buddy Hield to just go ham and drop 30 points on him. 30 points coming off the bench from one player is a bit much. If it's from several players, you can kind of live with that. But force the Golden State Warriors to have to make tough shots, man. Play great defense. Play great perimeter defense. The Celtics should be sliding into 8-1 and handing the Golden State Warriors, who do look hot, their second loss of the season. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, man. Celtics World, I appreciate you. It's your boy, the Wayne Breezy. Don't forget to follow right there on Instagram as well as on YouTube at Celtics World Podcast. Subscribe to the channel and share this joint, man. Share it, baby. We got Celtics basketball to be talking about. We got a long season to get through, and let's get it popping, baby. Celtics World all day. Stay up to the next time. Peace.